In the age of the internet, it's never been easier to learn how to play the guitar, yet it's also never been more psychologically painful. Guitar playing has evolved tremendously over the past half century, and if you're an aspiring guitarist, it can be pretty discouraging to open up social media and immediately be slammed with dozens of videos showing people in their bedrooms casually ripping through scales and arpeggios at warp speed and covering advanced solos with perfect accuracy. At least, it certainly has been for me. It seems that the expectations have shot through the roof, and this phenomenon isn't restricted to the guitar world either. If you want to learn painting or drawing, you can expect your newsfeed to be loaded with photorealistic works by world-class artists. If you want to take up heavy lifting, you will be inundated with videos of elite strength athletes deadlifting 800 pounds for reps. It all just seems like a constant reminder of how far you still have to go in your own journey. Amid all of this, I think it's important to remember two things. First of all, what's being repeatedly shown to you through the algorithm represents only a minuscule fraction of the top guitarists on this planet, and most of them are professionals who have been practicing obsessively for decades. This is not the standard you should be holding yourself to if you're in the early stages of learning, or even if you're an intermediate to advanced player who's hoping to establish a career in music. We should also remember that music is an art, not a sport. It may sound cliché, but speed isn't everything. Of course, if you look through my channel, you'll notice that much of the music I enjoy features fast, technical playing, as I personally appreciate the aesthetic of elegance, ambition, power, and overcoming that this style conveys. Yet not everyone shares this appreciation, hence players like Yngwie Malmsteen and Paul Gilbert drawing criticism for their over-the-top virtuosity and being dubbed soulless shredders. And that's okay. That's why we have different artistic styles. But I don't see them as soulless shredders. I see them as artists who use their instruments to bring to life the musical ideas that possess them. The key is that they're driven by originality and artistic vision, rather than a desire to outplay everyone else. And extreme virtuosity is simply the means for them to actualize those visions. Perfection is something we all aspire to, but many of the greatest and most influential artistic works in history originated out of imperfection, be it intentional or unintentional. The loose, nonchalant playing of grunge musicians in the 90s in part represented a weariness with the speed and technical flair of 80s guitar playing, not unlike how the Impressionist movement of the 19th century represented a similar weariness with rigid artistic standards. Of course, this concept can be taken too far. It's also worth mentioning that the entire genre of heavy metal wouldn't have evolved as it has if it weren't for Tony-Iommi of Black Sabbath losing several fingertips in a factory accident in the mid-60s, as his adaptations led to the creation of those signature slow, heavy, intense riffs that define the sound of early heavy metal. Clearly, accidents aren't always as damning as we tend to think, and can often become the birthplace of originality and greatness. No matter how far you advance with a guitar, there will always be someone who can outplay you. And even if there is none, AI and virtual instrument software will always have the upper hand. So if your ultimate goal is complete technical mastery alone, you're fighting a battle you can't win. But only you can bring that unique, nuanced, artistic vision in your head to life. And if you commit yourself fully to doing that, you'll reach heights that technique alone could never bring you to. So experiment, explore, have fun, make mistakes, and be imperfect. But please don't chop your fingers off.